What's up everybody, and welcome back to another video. My name is Joey Harrison, and today we have a very special video for you. We are going to be talking about another camera, and not just any camera. This is probably my favorite camera I've ever worked with, and yes, I have worked with a Red. Sorry for anyone that's a Red fan. It won, man. It won. Alright, let me introduce you to the KInefinity Mavo LF 6K cinema camera. It is the most underrated camera you will ever find. I promise you. Promise you. So, a little backstory on how I got this camera. Though it's technically not mine, it's the companies that I work for, so I just want to make that a disclaimer. But it definitely deserves a review, considering I have done a lot of beautiful work on it. So when I got the job, I had originally a Blackmagic 6K camera, and when I was talking to my coworker over in Arizona, shout out to Connor, if he ever watches this, you're the man. But he tells me that he's been working with this camera called a KInefinity. I'm like, I'll be honest with you, I've been working on this, this film world, and I've never heard of a KInefinity. I've heard of a lot of cameras, worked with pretty much all the big cinema cameras that are out, and I've never heard of it. Not even heard of the type of camera, just I've never heard of KInefinity. And so he says go do some research, and it's hard to find. I mean, it's more common now, especially now that it's coming out. But so I do some research, and I find a couple videos. I had to go to Vimeo for this one, and man, it blew my mind. I was like, there's no way it's this good. And I've probably been working with it for about a year now, and man, I gotta say, it's about it. It's that good. I call it a cousin of an Alexa, just because that's the style that it reminds me of compared to like a Red. Those are like the two big cinema cameras, and it's beautiful. All right, now let's get into specs. So this camera does shoot 6K, but I do not use 6K because we only have so many cards. I mean, sometimes I'll use 6K depending on whether or not I'm having a lot of VFX. But if I got a lot to shoot, I shoot in 4K, because why not? That's about the best we can see right now. I'm sure that'll change soon, and I think it probably already has. It shoots Apple ProRes 4444 XQ. You gotta make sure I get all the fours right. This camera is a Super 35 camera, or sensor. So that's beautiful if I ever decide to shoot a short film, and that way I can fit all the specs needed. So here's what I find to be the most wild part about this camera is the dual native ISO. And now most cameras do dual native, but according to their website, it is 800 for one and 5120. That's what the website says, which is ridiculous. Who the hell would bump it up to that? I mean, I guess if you're doing a dock, but like, I don't do docks. That's crazy. 5120? Bro, that's bananas to me. So when I'm shooting 4K wide, so they crop the top and the bottom, it can get up to 160 frames per second. Do I use that? No. Maybe once on like a slow-mo car scene, but no, I usually don't do that. The most I'll go is 60, but I keep it around 48 considering I do music videos, and that's probably the best like frame for music videos, because then you can slow it down, but then you can speed it back up to 24. I don't know. I learned it from Jacob Owens. I like the idea. It was a good idea for sure. So the mount. So this mount is a PS mount originally, but you can buy adapters for pretty much any lens, if my memory is correct from looking at the adapters. So I personally have a Sony E mount because that's what I've been told is the industry standard going to be, or what the industry standard will be. But you know, I mean, I have Canon cinema glass that I use, so I have to get a Sony E mount adapter for that to mount it to the mount, which is mounted to the PS mount. Yeah, it's complicated, but I have it down now. We're good. All right, lenses. I've got a bunch. Not a bunch, but I got 3 different lenses that I use. 3 different branded lenses, to be more specific. So we got this one right here, and we're gonna show some nice B-roll of it. So let's get to it. So right here, I have the Sigma 24 to 35 T 2.2 cinema lens. That is my main glass that I use for a good majority of my projects, especially when I'm doing corporate. Got to keep it wide, you know, and if you shoot, you know, 6K, you could technically crop in and not have to worry. But sometimes when I have to be a little more specific, like in my music videos, I'll bust out my Rokinon lenses, and they are not as sharp as the Sigma, but I think they want to bring more of the filmic look to it, which I appreciate, especially for more creative ends. Want to keep it, me personally, my style, I like to keep it more filmic. So it's nice to have that. I have 6 lenses to work with. I have a 16mm, I have a 24mm, I have a 35mm, I have a 50mm, an 85mm, and a 135mm. So now, if you go back to my videos, which I'll link down below, I talk about the meaning behind these and how to use each lens to get a specific feel out of. So check that out, because that'll benefit you. I also gotta plug myself. It happens. But yeah, it's nice to be able to punch in more on certain things and just to have more variety versus a 24 to 35. Alright, so I have one more Rokinon lens. We use it for corporate on this bad boy. It is the Zine 85mm, and it's a good one for sure. I don't use it as much. I think if I was to ever get the 6 set Zine lenses, then I would use it more, because that tends to be used more for my corporate film or videos, and I don't know, I just like to have the same look. So if I'm busting out my Rokinon, I'm gonna bust out the 6, because definitely Zine's a lot more sharper than the smaller Rokinon lenses. So yeah, that doesn't get that much use, but it'll be modeled very nicely. All right, here's the main reason why I made this video, and it is to just show work that I've shot on it and other clips that I'm gonna use, because might as well bring out something fresh for this as well. So here's a little montage of the beautiful KInefinity Mavo LF in action. Let's get to it. You saw it. I hope I convinced some people that this camera is worth looking at, considering it is a small, unknown cinema camera that, from what I've heard, is built from the ground up. The company really like came up out of nowhere and is starting to make a name for itself. And I really hope I can help open the eyes to some of y'all to this and help them grow as a brand. So shout out to KInefinity. If you ever see this and you want to throw me something, I'm just kidding, I don't. I just want you guys to get more light. That's awesome that you guys are doing this, making a cheaper, great looking cinema camera. And you guys are really helping make a great reel for me, because when it drops at the end of the year, it's gonna be something. I'll just say that. But alright guys, if you like this video, hit that like button, comment, which you guys don't do anyway, so whatever, and subscribe. Please, for the love of God, subscribe. I'm like getting close to 300, and I know the more subscriptions I get, the more views, more people will see it, which will be more subscriptions. And the more I grow, the more views I get, which the videos will be out more, and you know the whole fucking deal. And I just want to thank you, though, for getting us to almost 300. Because that's dope. Because I just put this YouTube channel together to put, like, some old projects on there. So I can share it for school. Like, years and years and years ago. And I'll be more emotional when I get to 300. And I'll do a cool shout-out video and shit. But yeah, hit that like button. We'll see you next time.